Now, over the past 4 years, we've seen the Biden administration take unprecedented action in preventing mergers across the United States. We saw Kroger and Albertsons, JetBlue and Spirit Airlines, yet the federal government has spared no mercy in laying down the gavel to block these deals.
For more, let's welcome in President of Strellmark LLC, Business Development Consultant, Hillary Fortwich. Good morning. So, Hillary, why do you think the administration was so adamant to stop these mergers from happening?
Well, the mergers, obviously, this current administration, no one in this current administration really were business oriented. And don't forget the mergers, they're not understanding business. They thought, oh, this would hurt the consumer because there will be fewer. What they don't realize is, of course, when you consolidate businesses and you have economies of, you can actually lower prices. And as long as there are enough, not just one monopoly, there are plenty of other grocery stores, there are plenty of other retail outlets. And it's the same with the airlines. You will find that the consumer actually benefits from those economies of scale. And I think that was fundamentally what was not understood.
So, Hillary, I want to talk about what the economy looks like when President-elect Donald Trump returns to office. Now, he obviously faces a tough road ahead in getting prices down after 4 years of it being out of control in terms of inflation. Things won't actually move that quickly, though. So what do you expect the first year will look like?
Well, John, nobody actually knows. Anybody who tells you they know specifically is not actually correct. But a few things here. Number one, I believe it was Alan Greenspan, or somebody said that moving the U.S. economy is like trying to steer the Queen Mary. It's like a giant tanker. It takes at least 2 miles to move anything. So it's a very long process. So this is exactly what needs to happen. We need to move very, very swiftly and at great speed. Why? Because don't forget, Trump really has only 2 years until the midterms. So that's number one, speed. Then unity. Depending on the number of confirmations, we probably the Republicans only have about 3, 2, or 1 seat majority. So we have to make sure in the House. So we have to make sure that there's unity amongst Republicans. And then roll back regulations. The National Association of Realtors says that for all of the regulations cost between $20,000 and $30,000, John, on each house constructed. Roll back those regulations. Roll back EV mandates. Why? Because don't force on the public what they don't want. And very importantly, create incentives. People do things, actually, just like parents, you have to give incentives to your little children, incentives to dogs when you train them. The economy is exactly the same way. Businesses need incentives, the consumer needs incentives, and our adversaries and our trading partners need incentives. That's why the tariffs are so important. And last but not least, with regard to tariffs, when everybody says, oh, but it's going to cost the consumer a lot of money, remember with tariffs, former President Trump, President-elect Trump, is very clever. And he uses tariffs with regard to one thing importantly, as a trading and a negotiating weapon. So remember, he had NATO step up, and each of those countries, except for the Great Britain, actually, and Poland, that do spend their 2%, he had all the other NATO nations actually step up and pay their 2%. He has used them as a negotiation tactic, and that's what he will do in the future, and that will help the economy. And the last part I need to make is, a lot of this is psychological. Businesses need certainty, and that's what they're getting if the tax cuts go into place very quickly. And that's why I go back to my first point, speed is everything.
Hillary Fortwich, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.